So let us begin with the problem solving session for magnetism. So we are dealing with the first problem. A uniform magnetic field B exists in a direction perpendicular to the plane of a square frame made of copper wire. The wire has a diameter of 2 mm and a total length of 40 cm. The magnetic field changes with time at a steady rate dB by dt equals zero point zero 0.02 Tesla per second. Find the current induced in the frame. Given resistivity of the copper wire is 1.7 into 10 to the power minus 8 watt meter. So if we consider this particular problem, so the first thing that we are calculating is the area of the frame which is given to us, or the area of the loop. So area of loop. So area of loop can be written in this way. So the total length is 40, so we can write it as 40 by 4, which will become the side length, and then we can square it out and convert it into meter. So this is the side length which we obtain, and then we squared it out. So from here we obtain a value equal to 0.01 meter square. Now the next thing which we are talking about is the value of magnetic flux phi is equal to B dot A, and the EMF induced is equal to the rate of change of magnetic flux. That is, if I write the magnitude of EMF induced, then it is equal to d phi by dt. So over here, since the area is kept constant, so I can write that the magnitude of EMF induced will be equal to a dB by dt. So this is the magnitude of EMF induced which we have. So over here, if we calculate the magnitude of EMF induced, so the value can be written as the value of area, that is 0.01 meter square into dB by dt, which is given to us as 0.02. And from here we obtain a value equal to 2 into 10 to the power minus 4 volt. So this is the value of EMF induced in this particular loop. So the next thing which we are calculating is the value of current. So in order to calculate the value of current, we need to know the value of the resistance. The resistance offered by loop can be written as rho L upon A, and if we do so, so the value of resistivity is equal to 1.7 10 to the power minus 8 into length, which is 40 centimeters, so we will convert it into meter, and area, which is equal to can be since the diameter is 2 millimeter, so we can write it as pi r square. So pi, the radius is 1 millimeter, so pi r square. So this will give us the resistance of the wire in ohm. So on calculation we obtain a value equal to 2.16 into 10 to the power minus 3 ohm, and hence the value of current induced in the circuit can be written as I is equal to 2 into 10 to the power minus 4 upon R, that is 2.16 into 10 to the power minus 3. So the value is equivalent to 9.3 into 10 to the power minus 2 ampere. So this is the answer to our first problem which we have. So let us move to the next problem. A square shaped copper coil has edges of length 50 centimeter and contains 50 turns. It is placed perpendicular to a 1 Tesla magnetic field. It is removed from the magnetic field in 0.25 second and restored in its original place in the next 0.25 second. Find the magnitude of the average EMF induced in the loop during its removal, its restoration, and its motion. So if we consider this problem, let us again begin it in the same way. So we have a square loop whose length of the edge is given to us as 50 centimeter, and it is containing 50 turns. So the value of flux change which we write is written as phi is equal to B dot A for one single coil, and since there are 50 turns, so the flux change will be 50 times of this value. So in the first part which we are doing, that is during removal. So during removal we write it as phi 1, which is equal to B dot A. So the value of B is equal to 1 Tesla multiplied by the length segment is 50 centimeter. So we convert it into meter, 50 by 100 whole is square. And since there are 50 turns, so we multiply it by 50. And then on being removed, the value is equal to, it is removed from the magnetic field in 0.25 second, and it is restored back into its position in the next 0.25 second. So we are writing it in this way, that the value of phi 1 is equal to this. So if we calculate it out, the value is going to come as, so this will become 2, so 50 by 4, which is equal to 12.5 Tesla meter square. Now after being removed, the final flux will become 0. So the final flux will become 0, and it is taking a time of 0.25 second. So we can write from here that the average EMF value is equal to change in flux by time taken. So if we use this formulation, that is change in flux by time taken, so we can write it as 12.5 divided by time taken, that is 0.25, and from here we calculate the value equivalent to 50 volt. Now in the next part it is asking during its restoration. So when it will be restored, again the same change in EMF is going to take place. The same will happen, that is the initial value will become 0 and the final value of flux will become equal to 12.5 Tesla meter square, and again the average value of the induced EMF will again come out to be the same value, that is delta phi by delta t, which is equal to 50 volt. So for part A and part B the answer is same, and during its motion there is no change in flux, so the value of EMF induced during its motion will be 0. So during its motion the EMF induced will be 0, and during both the aspects, that is removal and restoration, the value of average EMF induced is equal to 50 volt. So we have only calculated the magnitude of the EMF, it must be very well kept in mind. So let us move to the next problem. A conducting square loop having edges of length 2 centimeter is rotated through 180 degree about a diagonal in 0.20 second. A magnetic field B exists in the region which is perpendicular to the loop in its initial position. If the average induced EMF during the rotation is 20 millivolt, then find the value of magnetic field which we are having. So for this particular problem, let us begin it in this way. So the first thing that we do is the value of EMF induced is equal to 20 millivolt. So we can write it as 20 into 10 to the power minus 3 volt. And the area of the loop which we are talking about is having a length of 2 centimeter side. So 2 by 100 whole square, and the value will be in meter square. That is 4 into 10 to the power minus 4 meter square. And the change is going to take place in 0.2 second. So t is given to us as 0.2 second, and it is rotated through 180 degree angle. So over here I can write one thing, that if we are writing that the initial value of flux is equal to B into A, so on being rotated by 180 degree, the area vector and magnetic field vector will be anti-parallel to each other, and the value will become minus BA. So this is something which must be kept in mind, and therefore if we calculate the change in flux, so the magnitude of change in flux will be equal to 2BA. So the magnitude of change in flux can be written as twice of BA, and therefore the EMF induced can be written as twice of BA upon time taken, which is equal to 0.2 over here. So if we put this value over here, we can say that the value of EMF induced is equal to 20 into 10 to the power minus 3 is equal to twice of B area is equal to 4 into 10 to the power minus 4 upon time. So time is equal to 0.2 second. So from here, if we calculate the value of B, so the value of B is coming out to be 5 Tesla. So this is the answer for this particular problem. Let us move to the next one. Figure given below shows a metallic square frame of edge A in a vertical plane. A uniform magnetic field B exists in the space in a direction perpendicular to the plane of the figure. Two boys pull the opposite corners of the square to deform it into a rhombus. They start pulling the corners at t equal to 0 and displace the corner at a uniform speed u. Find the induced EMF in the frame at the instant when the angle at these corners reduced to 60 degree. Find the induced current in the frame at this instant if the total resistance of the frame is R. And find the total charge which flows through a side of the frame by the time the square is deformed into a straight line. So these are the set of questions which is asked to us associated with this particular problem. So the first thing which must be kept in mind is that the side is moved with a speed u in the downward direction. So displacing the corner at a uniform speed u is mentioned in this particular problem. So let us draw a diagram to understand this problem first of all. So this is the square which we are talking about, which in turn is going to be converted into a rhombus such that the side is going to form an angle of 60 degree. So if the side is forming an angle of 60 degree, so if I draw a line like this, so over here I can say that this angle is equal to 30 degree. And if this is the side length which we are having, so we can calculate the perpendicular length which is going to be equal to a sine 30, and down here also it is going to be a sine 30. So this is the first set of change which we have. So if I write the value equivalent to the perpendicular length of velocity, so the length is going to be equal to 2a sine 30. Sine 30 is going to be half, so the value is equal to a. Now the EMF induced can be calculated in this way. Therefore EMF induced is going to be equal to BLV. So this is the formulation which we use, that is BLV. Now since both sides are moved with a speed u, both the sides are moved with a speed u, so due to both the side being moved with a speed u, the value of velocity which we are going to use over here is the relative velocity, that is 2u. So we can say that the EMF induced is going to become B into A into 2u. So the value that we have is equal to 2BAU. So the next thing which is being asked over here is the value of current. So if we calculate the value of current induced in the frame, so current induced in the frame is equal to EMF upon R, that is we divide by the value of resistance. So over here we obtain it as 2BAU upon resistance, which is equal to R. So in the next part, the question is asking us what is the value of charge that is going to flow as this deformation is going to take place and convert it into a straight wire. So as it will become into a straight wire, so the value of charge flown can be calculated as current into time, and on performing the calculation we will obtain a value equal to a square b by r. So the value of charge flown can be calculated as a square b upon r for this particular problem. So we are dealing with problem 5. Figure given below shows a square loop of side 5 cm being moved towards the right at a constant speed of 1 cm per second. The front edge enters the 20 cm wide magnetic field at t equal to 0 second. Find the EMF induced in the loop at t equal to 2 second, t equals 10 second, t equals 22 second, and t equals 30 seconds respectively. So if I draw enlarged view of this arrangement, so we can consider it in this way, that this is the region of magnetic field which the problem is talking about, which is 20 centimeter wide. So this region is 20 centimeter wide, and the square loop which is entering into this region is initially located at this junction, having a side length of 5 centimeter. So it is having a side length of 5 centimeter. Now I calculate the different distance which it is going to cover in the respective time. So in 2 second time, so we are calculating the distances associated with these time. So I'm saying that the distance which the front part of the loop is going to cover is equal to 1 into 2, that is 2 centimeter. The distance which the front part of the loop is going to cover in this case is 10 into 2, which is equal to 20 centimeter. The distance which the front part of the loop is going to cover is 22 into 1. Over here also it will be 1. The speed associated over here is 1 centimeter per second. So it will be written as 10 into 1, that is 10 centimeter. This will be 22 into 1, that is 22 centimeter. And over here in the fourth case or the D case, it is 30 into 1, that is 30 centimeter. So at t equal to 0, this is the picture how it is looking like. Now at t equal to 2 second, this diagram is going to change in this way, that this loop will get introduced into this frame by a distance of 2 centimeter. So the front part will cover a distance equal to 2 centimeter in 2 second, and this is going to be the area which is introduced into the magnetic field now. So the flux change is associated with this red shaded area which we have marked over here in the figure at t equal to 2 second. Now at 10 second, the entire square loop has entered the region of magnetic field, and there is no flux change associated at this point of time. So there is no flux change that is taking place. So the value of EMF induced at t equal to 10 second will be 0, because there is no flux change that is going to take place. And in the first part we have calculated this distance to be equal to 2 centimeter, which is introduced in the region of magnetic field. So the area is effectively 10 centimeter square. Now at 22 second, this frame is going to be looking like this. The front part covered a distance of 22 centimeter, so that is it is moved out from the region of magnetic field by a distance of 2 centimeters. So this is the distance that it moved out. So the complete width is 20 centimeter, and it covered a distance of 22 centimeter, the front part. So it has moved out by a distance of 2 centimeter over here. So this is 2 and this one is 5. So I can say that the area associated with flux change in part A and C is same. In part A and C, the area associated with flux change is same. And in the last part at t equal to 30 second, again the entire loop will move out of the region of magnetic field, and if will move out of the region of magnetic field, so there is no change in magnetic flux taking place at this instant of time. So the EMF induced at 30 second is also going to be 0. So these two answers we have made out that the value is going to be 0 for B and D. There will be no flux change associated with the coil at these two instant of time. So the value of EMF induced at 10 second and 30 second will be 0, and at A and C, that is at 2 second and 22 second, the area linked with the flux change is same. So the EMF induced is going to be same, so we are making a single set of calculation for A and C. So the area which is changing is equal to 2 into 5, that is 10 centimeter square. So we can convert it into meter square. So we have 10 centimeter square. So we can write it as 10 upon 10 to the power 4 of meter square. And the value of magnetic field which it enters is equal to 0.6 Tesla. And the change is taking place in both case in 2-second duration. The effective time is going to be 2 seconds, because at 22-second point till 20 second the value of flux change will become 0, and this area is introduced out of the magnetic field in 2-second time. So we will take the effective time as 2 seconds. So over here, if I write the magnitude of EMF induced, so the magnitude of EMF induced is equal to change in flux divided by time taken. So we can write it in this way, that the change in flux is going to be B into area 1 upon 10 to the power 3 upon time taken, which is equal to 2 seconds, and the value come out to be 3 into 10 to the power minus 4 volt. So the value of EMF induced at t equal to 2 second is 3 into 10 to the power minus 4 volt, and at t equal to 22 second is also 3 into 10 to the power minus 4 volt, and at B and D, that is 10 second and 30 second, there is no EMF induced. So let us move to the next problem. The magnetic field shown in the figure given below is directed into the plane of the paper. ACDA is a semicircular conducting loop of radius r with the center at O. The loop is now made to rotate clockwise with a constant angular velocity omega about a point passing through O and perpendicular to the plane of the paper. The resistance of the loop is R. Obtain an expression for the magnitude of the induced current in the loop, and plot the graph between the induced current and omega t for the period of 2 rotation. So in this particular problem, if we analyze this case, so initially when the semicircular conducting loop is outside the magnetic field, there is no flux change associated with it. Now as this loop will be introduced in the region of magnetic field, so some flux will be induced in it and an EMF will be induced. So let us look at this at an instant when the thing is rotated by an angle theta. So I am drawing another big diagram for our understanding. So this is the region of magnetic field which we have, and I am considering that this semicircular loop is rotated like this, and on being rotated, this is the new patch that is introduced into it. This is the new patch that is introduced in the region of the magnetic field. So I am considering that this angle theta, and this one is a new area that is being introduced, so I am calling it as d theta. So this is the flux change that is taking place right now, this area. And if the radius is equal to r, so I can take that this length is equal to r d theta, and hence the area associated with this can be written as dA, as we are considering it to be a small triangle, so half base into height. So we write it in this sense. So the value which we obtain is equal to r square d theta by 2. So this is the change in area which is taking place at this instant of time as it is rotated, and it must be kept in mind that d theta by dt will be written as omega, which is equal to angular velocity for the system. So if the magnetic field is B, So I can say that therefore the EMF induced is equal to B into A. So B into A is R square d theta by 2 by dt. So the change in flux by time taken is what we have done. So d phi by dt. So the flux is equal to B into dA, and then we have written it as B into dA by dt. So we calculate the value of EMF induced, which is equal to B omega R square by 2. So the value is coming out to be B omega R square by 2. So this is the value of EMF induced in this frame. Now what more must be kept in mind is, so as this loop is introduced into this region, so now what is going to happen over here is, so in the first case, as the loop is getting introduced, so the magnetic field associated with this loop is increasing, so the current will be induced in the anti-clockwise sense. The induced current is such that it opposes the cause producing it. So it is in anti-clockwise sense, and we treat anti-clockwise current as positive. So over here, if I calculate the value of current induced, so I can write that the induced value of current, or the current induced, can be written as EMF upon resistance of R. So it will become B omega R square by 2, and the resistance of the loop is capital R. So okay. So one thing must be kept in mind, this one is small r. So we are making this as small r for the time being. I am making the resistance as small r and the radius as capital R. So we have solved the considerable length. So we can write the current induced is equal to B omega R square by 2 small r. So we have taken this radius as capital R and resistance as small r. So this is the current induced when the loop is getting introduced into this region of magnetic field. And now the next part which we say is, after the entire loop is introduced in the region of magnetic field, that is if I draw a system like this. So after half the rotation, so this is going to be the loop. So it will be completely into the magnetic field, and it will be moving out of the magnetic field. So when this loop will be moving out of the magnetic field, so now what will happen? The current will be induced in the clockwise sense. And if the current is introduced in the clockwise sense, so we consider it as negative. So if I draw a graph between the induced current and the value of omega t, so we can say it in this way, that if we mark the notable point, so the graph is going to be in this way, that when it is rotating by value pi, the value is positive. For the another pi, that is till 2 pi, the value is negative. For another pi, the value is positive, and then for another pi, the value will change again. So for the first half, the value is positive. For the another cycle, when the loop is moving out of the magnetic field, the value is negative. Again for the other half, the value is positive, and again the value will be negative. So I can mark this as B omega by 2r, and this one as B omega by 2r. So this is going to be our variation of current with time that is going to take place for this particular problem. So let us begin with problem number 7. Figure given below shows a circular coil of n turns and radius a connected to a battery of EMF E through a rheostat. The rheostat has a total length L and a resistance capital R. The resistance of the coil is small r. A small circular loop of radius a dash and resistance r dash is placed coaxially with the coil. The center of the loop is at a distance x from the center of the coil. In the beginning, the sliding contact of the rheostat is at the left end and then it moves towards the right at a constant speed v. Find the EMF induced in the small circular loop at the instant the contact begins to slide, and in the B part it has slid through the half the length of the rheostat. So if we consider this problem, we consider in this way. I am drawing it in an enlarged way. So over here we are having a circular loop like this, which will be carrying a certain current, and the current will be a function of time. It is because of the fact that the rheostat's resistance is continuously changing. So as a result of this current carrying coil, which is having n turns and radius equal to a magnetic field will be produced at a distance x. A magnetic field will be produced at a distance x, which is the center of this smaller coil which we have. So this smaller coil is having a radius a dash. So the magnetic field at a distance x can be written in this way: B is equal to mu naught Ni a square upon twice of x square plus a square to the power 3 by 2. So this is the value of magnetic field due to this current carrying circular coil at a distance x, and hence the flux through the small coil can be written as mu naught Ni a square upon twice of x square plus a square to the power 3 by 2 times of pi a dash square. So we have multiplied it with this area, and over here we can calculate that the rate of change of flux is regarded as the magnitude of EMF. So if we calculate from here the magnitude of EMF, which is equal to d phi by dt, so we can write it in this way: mu naught n pi a square into a dash square upon twice of x square plus a square to the power 3 by 2 times of di by dt. So we wish to calculate this rate of change of current over here now. So apart from this parameter, we are left with the finding of this value of the rate of change of current. So we are considering it in this way, that the x length of the rheostat will offer a resistance which will be equal to Rx upon L. The L length of the rheostat is offering a resistance equal to R. So the X length of the rheostat will offer this resistance, and hence the current through the battery can be written as I is equal to E upon the resistance offered by this X length, that is Rx upon L, and the resistance of the coil, which is equal to small r. So from here, if we calculate the value of di by dt, so di by dt can be written in this way, that we can take El as constant, and we can differentiate this part Rx plus Rl with respect to time dt. So if we solve this expression, we get di by dt is equal to El, and if we differentiate this expression, we can differentiate it in this way: Rx plus XL whole square, and we will get a minus of derivative of this entire function, that is derivative of Rx plus RL with respect to dt. So from here we obtain a value equal to El, this will be R, and dx by dt can be written as V. So the term dx by dt is written as V, and the derivative of RL with respect to dt will become 0 because it is constant, and we are left with this expression Rx plus XL whole square with a negative sign. So since we are writing di by dt magnitude, so we are omitting the negative sign for the time being. So this is the value of di by dt which we have. So if we put this expression in the value which we have calculated previously, that is this expression of EMF induced, so we will get the value of EMF induced as a function of x. So if we do so, we obtain the EMF induced value as, so EMF induced can be written as mu naught n pi a square a dash square upon twice of x square plus a square to the power 3 by 2 times of ERLV upon Rx plus RL whole square. Now the question is asking us to calculate the value over here at 2 instant when the contact began to slide and when it has slid through this half the distance or half the length of the rheostat. So over here we can do a simple thing. Now for the A part, the value will be when x is equal to L. So if we put x is equal to L over here in this expression, we will obtain the value of EMF induced in the A part, which we are calling it as EA. So it will become mu naught n pi a square a dash square ERLV upon twice of x square plus a square to the power 3 by 2. And if we put L over here, we can take L square common, r plus r whole square, and we can remove this L from here. So on cancellation we obtain this value that the EMF induced in this part is equal to mu naught n pi a square a dash square ERV upon twice of x square plus a square to the power 3 by 2 into L times of r plus r whole square. So similarly in the B part, what we have to do is we have to put x is equal to L by 2. So if we put x equal to L by 2 in the above expression, we can obtain the answer easily. So I am leaving it that part for you. So this is how we solve the value of EMF induced for this particular problem. Let us move to the next one. Figure given below shows a circular wheel of radius 10 cm whose upper half, shown in dark in the figure, is made up of iron and the lower half of wood. The two junctions are joined by an iron rod. A uniform magnetic field of magnitude 2 into 10 to the power minus 4 Tesla exists in the space above the central line as suggested by the figure. The wheel is set into pure rolling on the horizontal surface. If it takes 2 seconds for the iron part to come down and the wooden part to go up, find the average EMF induced during this process. So if we calculate the average induced EMF for this particular problem, so I can say that the EMF contribution or the change in EMF contribution will come solely because of the half the area. That is, this particular area is going to contribute for the change in flux, because initially there was no flux associated with the other half portion, and hence the change in flux is equal to the flux contributed by half the area, that is B into pi r square by 2. So this is going to be the change in flux which is contributed, and the magnitude of EMF induced, so EMF induced magnitude can be written in this way, which is equal to d phi by dt. So we can put this value in this sense, that B into pi r square by 2t. So if we substitute the value, so the value is equal to 2 into 10 to the power of minus 4 times of pi. Radius is equal to 10 centimeters, so we can write it as 10 by 100 whole square upon 2t, so t is equal to 2 seconds. So we obtain an expression like this for this particular problem, and on solving we obtain this value as equivalent to 1.57 10 to the power minus 6 volt. So for this particular problem, the answer is 1.57 into 10 to the power minus 6 volt. So let us move to the next problem. So let us deal with problem number 9. Figure given below shows a wire sliding on the two parallel conducting rails placed at a separation L. A magnetic field B exists in a direction perpendicular to the plane of the rails. What force is necessary to keep the wire moving at a constant velocity V? So now in this particular problem we are finding that the circuit is not complete. So if this would be a diagram like this, where there is a parallel rails and the wire that is being slided over here is offering a certain resistance. So if the wire would have been offering a certain resistance and it would have formed a complete loop, that is, I mean to say that if we join one end of this conducting rod together, so in this case what would have happened, so this frame would have offered a EMF equivalent to BLV, due to which current can be calculated in this conducting rod, and the value of current could have been calculated as BLV upon R, where R is the resistance offered by this conducting rod, and then the force could have been calculated that the force needed is equal to ILB. So this will be the magnetic force that would be acting on the wire, that is B square L square V upon R. So this would be F magnetic on the wire. But in this particular case, since there is no completion of the circuit, since this circuit is incomplete, so this wire will continue to slide and this force will not act. So if magnetic force is absent, so there is no force which is acting on the wire to decrease the velocity of the wire, and hence I say that the requirement of the force is not necessary. So the force that is necessary to keep the wire moving at a constant velocity is going to be 0. So we will not require any value of force to keep this moving. So we are moving to the next problem, problem number 10. A rectangular frame of wire ABED has dimension 32 centimeter into 8 centimeter and a total resistance of 2 ohm. It is pulled out of a magnetic field B is equal to 0.02 Tesla by applying a force of 3.2 into 10 to the power minus 5 Newton. It is found that the frame moves with a constant speed. So we are asked to find this constant speed, the EMF induced in the loop, the potential difference between the points A and B, and the potential difference between the points C and D. So if we start considering the problem, we consider it in this sense that the first thing which we understand is this wire segment CD is outside the magnetic field, and it will not produce any value of EMF due to this length segment. Now due to this length segment only the EMF will be generated, because the length BC and the length AD is parallel to the value of velocity. So BLV can be applied only when the length velocity are perpendicular to each other. So hence I can say that the EMF will be induced only because of the length AB. So the first thing which we put over here is this, that I can redraw this circuit in this sense, that this is offering a EMF which is equal to BLV, due to which a current is flowing in the entire rectangular loop, which is offering a total resistance of capital R. In this case it is stated as 2 ohm. So now due to this current is going to flow in this frame, which we are calling it as I. So I current is going to flow in this frame, and the value of current can be calculated as, so I can be calculated as BLV upon resistance R. So due to this current which will be flowing in this coil in this manner, that is in the clockwise sense, so if we calculate the value of force which is going to be exerted on the length segment AB, so we will find that the magnetic force that is going to act can be calculated as ILB, and hence the value will be obtained as b square L square V upon R. So we will obtain this value, that is b square L square V upon R, which is going to oppose the value of applied force F. So it is going to oppose the value of applied force F. The direction of this force or this magnetic force can be calculated using left hand rule. So it is opposing the applied force F. So now in order to move with a constant velocity, it is needed that the applied force F and the magnetic force F produces no net force, and hence I can write that the applied force is equal to magnetic force, and from here we can calculate the value of velocity. So the value of force is given to us as 3.2 into 10 to the power minus 5, which is equal to b square. The magnetic field is equal to 0.02 b square. Then we are talking about the length segment. So over here the length which we are referring to is the 8 centimeter length. So we are taking it as 8 by 100 in meter. So b square L square, V is not known, upon the resistance which is offered, which is 2 ohm. So over here we express it in this way, and from here we calculate the velocity. V is coming out as 25 meter per second. So the constant velocity with which the frame is moving is 25 meter per second. Now in the next part we are calculating the value of EMF induced. So the EMF induced is equal to BLV, and hence I can say that this one is the answer to A part. For B part we can simply calculate the value of EMF induced is equal to BLV, where B is equal to 0.02, length is 8 centimeter, 8 by 100 into V, which is equal to 25 meter per second, and the value is calculated as 4 into 10 to the power minus 2 volt. 4 into 10 to the power of minus 2 volt. So this becomes the answer to B, to the part B, 4 into 10 to the power of minus 2 volt. Now in the next part, the problem is asking us to find out the potential difference between the points A and B, and the potential difference between C and D. So now in order to understand this in a proper way, so we first of all try to find out the resistance per unit length. So why we are doing this is because of the fact that the total resistance is given to us, which is equal to 2 ohm. So we can consider this circuit in this way. So I am redrawing this circuit in this sense, that the EMF is generated because of this length segment, which is equal to BLV, and we have already calculated its value, and over here I am attaching the resistance which is going to be offered by this length segment. Over here I am attaching another resistance which will be offered by this 32 centimeter length, and the resistance offered on the other side will also be same, and over here we offer a resistance small r. So the resistance corresponding to 8 centimeter length is small l, and the resistance corresponding to 32 centimeter length is equal to small r. So over here we are first of all calculating the resistance per unit length. So resistance per unit length can be calculated as 2 ohm, and the total length of the frame, that is 32 and 8, 2L plus B, is equal to 80. So it is centimeter, so we divide by 100. So we obtain a value equal to 2.5 ohm per meter. So this is going to be the resistance which is offered by each length segment. So the small r value can be calculated as equivalent to 8 centimeter length. So 2.5 into 8 centimeter, that is 8 by 100, and the value is equal to 0.2 ohm. So this is going to be the internal resistance which is offered by it, and over here I can calculate that the value of potential difference across AB. So potential difference across AB which is being asked can be written as EMF minus IR. So EMF which will be written as BLV minus I into small r. So we have calculated all these values beforehand. So the value of BLV which we have calculated is equal to 4 into 10 to the power minus 2 minus of the current into resistance small r, which is 0.2. So from here we calculate the value which and is obtained as 3.6 into 10 to the power minus 2 volt. So the value is obtained as 3.6 into 10 to the power of minus 2 volt. Now in the next part the question is asking the potential difference across CD. So potential difference across this frame CD can simply be written as IR. So this was the answer to the third part, and now we are writing potential difference across CD. So it can be simply written as I small r. So I small r is 2 into 10 to the power minus 2 into 0.2. So from here we obtain a value which is equal to 4 into 10 to the power minus 3 volt. So this is the answer to the fourth part which we have. So let us move to the next question. So the next question is stating that Magad Express takes 16 hours to cover the distance of 960 km between Patna and Ghaziabad. The rails are separated by 130 cm and the vertical component of the Earth's magnetic field is 4 into 10 to the power minus 5 Tesla. Find the average EMF induced across the width of the train. And the B part is if the leakage resistance between the rails is 100 ohm, find the retarding force on the train due to the magnetic field. So if we calculate this particular aspect, so the first thing that we are doing is we will be converting, we will calculate the speed in kilometer per hour and convert it into meter per second. So first of all we calculate the average speed of the train. So average speed of the train can be written as 960 upon 16. So this will be in kilometer per hour and we can convert it into meter per second. And the value is obtained as equal to 16.67 meter per second. So this will be treated as V. Now this separation between them is 130 centimeter and the magnetic field is equal to 4 into 10 to the power minus 5 Tesla. So I can write that the EMF induced is equal to BLV. So BLV can be written as 4 into 10 to the power minus 5 into length, which is equal to 130 centimeter, which we will convert it into meter, and V, which is equal to 16.67, and the value will be calculated in volt. So from here we obtain a value equal to 8.6 into 10 to the power minus 4 volt. Now in the next part it is asking what if the leakage resistance between the rails is 100 ohm, then find the retarding force. So the force that is going to act is because of F equal to ILB. And I can be calculated as EMF induced upon the resistance, which is equal to 100. So this is going to be the value of current. L is equal to 130 by 100 L into B, which is equal to 4 into 10 to the power of minus 5. So this is going to be the retarding force which will be produced due to the magnetic field, and this is coming out to be a very small value. So it is coming out to be 4.47 into 10 to the power of minus 10 Newton. So let us move to problem number 12. So problem number 12 is stating a square loop of edge A having n turns is rotated with a uniform angular velocity omega about one of its diagonals, which is kept fixed in a horizontal position as shown in the diagram. A uniform magnetic field B exists in the vertical direction. We have to find the EMF induced in the coil. So the first thing which we do is we calculate the value of area. So the area is associated to be A square. Now if the normal to the frame makes an angle of theta equal to 0 degree with the magnetic field, so at t equal to 0, so the angle is 0, and after a certain time t, this theta can be written as omega t. So at t equal to 0, the theta is equal to 0, and at a time t theta can be written as omega t, and hence the value of flux at any instant of time can be written as nba cos theta, which we are writing it as cos omega t. So from here I can write that nb area is equal to a square cos omega t is the value of flux that we have. So the magnitude of the emf induced can be written as d phi by dt. So the magnitude of EMF induced can be written as d phi by dt, and it is equal to nba square omega sine omega t. So this is the value of the EMF induced in the coil due to the rotational aspect, which is it is rotating with omega. So we are dealing with problem number 13. A wire AB of length L, mass M and resistance R slides on a smooth, thick pair of metallic rails joined at the bottom as shown in the figure given below. The plane of the rails makes an angle theta with the horizontal. A vertical magnetic field B exists in the region. If the wire slides on the rail at a constant speed V, then we have to show that the magnetic field value B is equal to root over mgr sine theta upon VL square cos square theta. So if we are considering this particular problem, so we are considering that the particle or the rails is moving down or sliding with a velocity v. So if it is sliding with a velocity v, then the current is induced in this direction in this conductor and in this rail like this. So this is the direction of current that is induced in this segment. Now if we calculate or first of all find the direction of magnetic force, so I say that the magnetic force is acting in the upward direction, that is F magnetic will act in this direction. This is determined using left hand rule. So over here I can say that the first thing which we calculate is the EMF induced. So EMF induced can be written as BLV. Now when we write BLV, it is important that BL and V are perpendicular to each other. So for this particular aspect, when the motion is in this way, so we are understanding this from the side view. So if I draw the side view of this arrangement, so this is the current carrying wire which I am representing by only one end of it. Then the weight component which is acting in the downward direction is equal to mg sine theta, and the magnetic force is acting up the incline which is equal to Fm. So the velocity component which is perpendicular to the magnetic field will be this. So this is the value of velocity which we have. So the velocity component perpendicular will be v cos theta, and the length component will be L cos theta. So the value of EMF induced can be written as B L cos theta into V cos theta. So the value is going to be BLV cos square theta. So this is going to be the EMF induced. So the value of current which we calculate in this particular circuit is equal to EMF induced upon resistance, which is equal to BLV cos square theta upon R. So this is the value of current which we have, and hence the magnetic force F magnetic can be written as BLV, sorry, and hence the magnetic force can be written as ILB, and it is equal to B square L square V cos square theta upon R. And now if this metallic rod is to move with a constant speed v, so it is important that the net force on this must be 0. So hence I can say that F magnetic is balanced by mg sine theta. So if it is balanced by mg sine theta, so from here I can calculate the value of magnetic field. So the value of magnetic field will turn out to be B, which is equal to mgr sine theta upon VL square cos square theta and square root of this entire term. So we have proved this expression. So let us move to the next problem. So the next problem is stating a rectangular wire frame shown in the figure given below has a width d, mass m, resistance r and a large length. A uniform magnetic field B exists to the left of the frame. A constant force F starts pushing the frame into the magnetic field at t equals 0. Find the acceleration of the frame when its speed has increased to v. Show that after some time the frame will move with a constant velocity till the whole frame enters into the magnetic field. Find this velocity v0. And the last part is asking show that the velocity at the time t is given by v equals v0 1 minus e to the power minus ft upon m v0. So this is the expression which is to be proved. So if we start understanding this problem, so the first thing which I wish to state over here is the following facts. So as this loop enters this region of magnetic field, so the force that is being applied is equal to F in this direction. So as it is will be inserted into this magnetic field, a current is induced in this loop in this direction. And the cause of EMF will be because of this length segment. So we are understanding by drawing a circuit equivalent to this in this fashion, such that the entire rectangular loop is offering a resistance R. So these two arrangements will help us in understanding every bit of this particular problem. So the EMF induced formula is BLV, which we have learnt, and the direction of current will be in this way as we have already seen. So now due to this, the first set of calculation which we need to do is this: the width is d in this case. So I write that the EMF induced will be equal to B dV. So it will be B dV, and because of this, the current that is going to flow in this segment is going to be B dV upon R, where R is the resistance which is given to us. Now due to this, a magnetic force will act on this rectangular loop. So this force, magnetic force which will act on this length of the wire, can be calculated as ILB, and the value of ILB will be obtained as B square D square V upon R. So the magnetic force is calculated as B square D square V upon R. Now the direction of magnetic force can be calculated using Fleming's left hand rule, and if we consider this for this wire, so the direction of current is this: the magnetic field is directed into the plane of paper and the magnetic force is calculated or observed in this direction. So the magnetic force is opposing the value of applied force, and hence I can say that the net force which is going to act on this rectangular frame can be written in this way, that F net is equal to F minus F magnetic, and we can write it as F minus B square D square V upon R, and this will produce an acceleration which we are calculating by equating it to ma. So from here the value of acceleration can be calculated as Rf minus B square D square V upon mr. So this is the value of acceleration which we have for this particular problem. Now, if we look at the problem is stating find the acceleration of the frame when its speed has increased to v. So this is the first part which we have calculated. Now in the next aspect it is asking that show that after some time the frame will move with a constant velocity till the whole frame enters into the magnetic field. Find this velocity v naught. So now as the entire loop enters the region of magnetic field, the force which is acting on the loop will become zero and the net force will be zero as the force will cease to act. So now if it will cease to act, so it will move with a constant velocity. So if velocity is constant, I can say that acceleration is zero, or we can directly equate the equation of force. So from here I get F is equal to b square d square v upon r, and the maximum value of velocity which can be attained, which is equal to v naught, is equal to fr upon b square d square. So this is the value of v naught which we attain, fr upon b square d square. Now in the next problem it is asking to find the velocity as a function of time, or to prove that it will be of this kind, that v equals v naught 1 minus e to the power minus ft upon m v naught. So in order to begin this approach, we begin by solving this equation. So I can say that acceleration a can be written as dv by dt, and we can equate it with rf minus b square d square v upon mr. So from here we write dv upon rf minus b square d square v is equal to dt upon mr. So now we integrate both sides. So at t equal to 0, the velocity was 0, and after a time t, when the entire loop is entering the magnetic field, we say that the velocity is v. So from here I can write that velocity at any instant of time can be calculated in this way. So if we integrate this, we will obtain ln of rf minus b square d square v upon minus b square d square, where the upper and lower limit is 0 and v, which is equal to t upon mr. So if we substitute the value, we will obtain this expression as ln of rf minus b square d square v minus of minus plus ln of rf. So over here we have minus of b square d square, and this one is positive b square d square, is equal to t upon mr. So over here we can rearrange this term, and the expression is going to look like this: v is equal to rf upon b square d square 1 minus e to the power minus b square d square upon mrt. So this entire thing is in power e to the power. So this is the expression which we are going to get. So from here I can say that this expression is equal to v naught. So this is the equation which is equal to v naught, and this is equal to the expression on e to the power is equal to ft upon mv naught. So it is of the form ft upon mv naught. So hence we can say that we have attained this expression: v is equal to v naught 1 minus e to the power minus ft upon mv naught. For this particular problem we have attained this equation. So let us move to the next problem. The magnetic field in a region is given by B vector is equal to k cap of B naught upon Ly, where L is a fixed length. A conducting rod of length L lies along the y-axis between the origin and the point 0 L, 0. if the rod moves with a velocity v equal to v naught I cap, then we have to find the EMF induced between the ends of the rod. So in order to understand this problem, so the first thing that we need to understand is that the variation of magnetic field is in the k cap direction and it is varying along the length. So the expression of magnetic field we have is written as B is equal to B naught upon L y k cap, and the rod is lying along the y axis direction. So the rod is lying along the y axis direction between the origin and the point 0 L0. So I can say that if we look at this arrangement, so we are considering that this is z axis, this is x, and this one is y axis, and the rod is lying on the y axis like this, with its one end at origin and the other at with it one end at origin and the other at L 0 L comma 0, and the value of velocity is v naught I cap, so it is moving in a linear fashion along the x axis or parallel to the x axis v naught I cap. So now due to the variation of magnetic field B, which is equal to B naught y upon L k cap, so I can write that the EMF between 2 points, which I say suppose at a distance y from here, if I select a small patch of thickness dy, so the potential difference that is generated across this length dy can be written as BLV. So over here the length segment which we are taking is dy, and the value can be written in this way. B can be written as B naught upon L Vy dy. So this is the expression which we write, and over here we integrate it from 0 to L to obtain the value of EMF induced across the length of the rod, and the value of EMF induced is equal to B naught V upon L. Integration of y dy can be written as y square by 2, and if I put the limit it will become L square by 2. So on calculation we obtain that the EMF induced is equal to half of B naught V L square, or the velocity is V naught, so we can put it as V naught. So this is the expression for the EMF which we attain across the end of this rod. So let us move to the next problem. Problem number 16. Figure given below shows a straight long wire carrying a current I and a rod of length L coplanar with the wire and perpendicular to it. The rod moves with a constant velocity v in a direction parallel to the wire. The distance of the wire from the center of the rod is x. Find the motional EMF induced in the rod. So now because of the current carrying wire, the magnetic field is varying along the length of the rod. And in the problem, the question that is stating is that the length of the rod is equal to L and the distance from the center is equal to x. So over here, the first thing which I wish to say is fix the limit, which we will be using later. So I am calling this length segment as L by 2 and this one as L by 2. So the point of minimum separation from the rod R minimum is equal to x minus L by 2, and R maximum is equal to x plus L by 2. So at any distance R from the current carrying wire, which is infinitely large, so at a distance R from the current carrying wire which is infinitely large, this rod is placed like this, and we are selecting a small patch of thickness dr. So at any distance r, the value of magnetic field is going to be mu naught I upon 2 pi r. So this is the value of magnetic field which we have, and the value of motional EMF dE can be written as BLV. So B is equal to mu naught I upon 2 pi r. Length is dr and the velocity is v. So if we integrate this, we will get the value of EMF induced in the rod. So the value of EMF induced can be written as mu naught I v upon 2 pi integration of 1 by r with respect to dr, and the limit is from r minimum to r maximum. So if we put the value over here, so integration of 1 by r is ln r. So we obtain mu naught IV upon 2 pi ln of 2x plus L upon 2x minus L. So this is the expression for EMF induced along the length of the rod that we attain. So we are dealing with problem 17. So let us deal with the problem. It is stating figure given below shows a square frame of wire having a total resistance small r placed coplanarly with a long straight wire. The wire carries a current I given by I equals I naught sine omega t. Find the flux of the magnetic field through the square frame, the EMF induced in the frame, and the heat developed in the frame in the time interval 0 to 20 pi by omega. So if we consider this particular problem, we begin it this way. Let us first of all understand it in this way, that this is the infinitely large current carrying wire carrying a current I, and at a distance b from it, the first edge of the square frame is there of side A. At a distance r, we are selecting a small patch of thickness dr. So we are selecting a small patch over here of thickness dr. So the area of this patch can be written as dA, which is equal to a dr. Now magnetic field due to current carrying wire can be written as mu naught I upon 2 pi r. So the value of flux associated with this small patch or small area is equal to mu naught I upon 2 pi r a dr, and now we are integrating both sides. So while we are integrating both sides, the limit of integration is from b to a plus b. So the net flux which we obtain over here, phi net, can be written as mu naught. The value of I is written as I naught sine omega t a upon 2 pi. Now integration of 1 by r dr is equal to ln r. So we will get ln of a plus b by b. So this is the expression which we attain for the flux through this square loop. So now the question is asking us EMF induced. So the value of EMF induced can be written as the magnitude of EMF induced is equal to d phi by dt's magnitude. So if we differentiate this expression with respect to time, we will attain the value of EMF induced EI as, now mu naught I naught a 2 pi and the term in ln are all constant. The derivative of sine omega t can be written as cos omega t into omega. So the expression is written as mu naught I naught omega a upon 2 pi cos omega t ln of a plus b by b. So this is going to be the expression for EMF induced in the frame. Now in the last part, the question is asking heat developed in the frame in the time interval 0 to 20 pi by omega. So the first thing to solve for the heat is necessary that we calculate the value of current that is flowing in this square frame. So current is equal to E induced upon resistance, which is equal to small r. So the current which is going to flow in this square frame is equal to mu naught I naught omega A upon 2 pi small r cos omega t ln of A plus B by B. Now for the expression of heat energy, so we are writing du is equal to I square r dt, and we integrate this expression for the given time, that is from 0 to 20 pi by omega. Since the current is a function of time, we will be using this integral to calculate the value. So the value of heat energy will be coming out as, so all this expression of I square r. So if we make I square, so the expression will be mu naught square I square omega square A square upon 4 pi square r square ln of A plus B by B square, and we are left with the integration of cos square omega t dt from 0 to 20 pi by omega. So on solving this equation, we attain a value equal to, so the value of heat energy developed in this circuit is written as 5 times of mu naught square A square I naught square omega upon 2 pi r ln square A plus B by B. So this is going to be the expression which we attain on integrating cos square omega t from 0 to 20 pi by omega. So let us deal with the next problem. So the next problem is stating an inductor coil stores 32 joule of magnetic field energy and dissipates energy as heat at the rate of 320 watt when a current of 4 ampere is passed through it. Find the time constant of the circuit when this coil is joined across an ideal battery. So if we consider this problem, the value of energy stored in the inductor, so the expression is written as U is equal to half Li square. So from here we are saying that the value of energy stored is equal to 32, which is equal to half L, and the value of current is 4 square. So the value of inductance of the inductor is coming out to be 4 Henry from this particular equation. Now in the next thing which we are doing is the value of power dissipated is written as I square R. So this power value is equal to 320, which is equal to I square 4 square into R. So the value of resistance is equal to 320 by 16. So the value of resistance is equal to 20 ohm. Now the time constant for the LR circuit is equal to L by R. So if we calculate the value of L by R, then it is equal to 4 by 20. That is, it is equal to 0.2 second for this particular problem. Let us deal with the next problem. So problem number 19 is stating an LR circuit having L equals 4 Henry, R equals 1 ohm and EMF equal to 6 volt is switched on at t equal to 0. Find the power dissipated in joule heating at t equal to 4 seconds. So at this point, we first of all calculate the value of time constant for this circuit. So the value of time constant for the circuit is equal to L by R, which is equal to 4 upon 1, that is equal to 4 second. Now at t equal to 4 second, we are calculating the value of current. So the current equation which we have is written as I is equal to I naught 1 minus e to the power minus t by tau. So from this expression I can write that I naught is equal to E by R. So 6 upon 1 minus e to the power minus t by tau. So at t equal to 4 second it is asking, so 4 by 4 will be coming over here. And hence the expression is reduced to 6 1 minus e to the power minus 1, that is 1 by e. And the value is calculated as 3.8 ampere. Now the question is asking find the power dissipated in joule heating at t equal to 4 second. So we are calculating it as I square R. So the value of energy dissipated is equal to I square R, and we are writing it as 3.8 whole square into R, which is equal to 10, and the expression is roughly equal to 440 ohm. Let us deal with the next problem. An inductance L and a resistance R are connected in series with a battery of EMF E. Find the maximum rate at which the energy is stored in the magnetic field. So now in order to begin this problem, we first of all draw the series LR circuit. So an inductor L, resistance R is connected to a EMF source E. So the expression for current is written as I is equal to I naught 1 minus e to the power minus t by tau, where tau is equal to L by R. So the energy stored can be written as U, which is equal to half Li square. So if we write it as half Li square, so the expression is written as half L, and it is written as I naught square 1 minus e to the power minus t by tau whole square. So this is the value of energy which we write. So now the problem is asking us the maximum value of the rate at which the energy is stored. So the rate at which the energy is stored, that is power, is written as du by dt. So if we differentiate this term with respect to time, we will obtain L I naught square 1 minus e to the power minus t by tau. That is, we have taken down the power and removed it from the denominator too. And then if we differentiate the term in between, we will be left with minus e to the power minus t by tau, and then minus 1 by tau. So this is going to be the power equation on differentiating this expression, and we can write it as P is equal to L I naught square by tau e to the power minus t by tau minus e to the power minus 2t by tau. So this is the expression for power that we have. Now the problem is asking us to find the maximum rate at which the energy is stored. So for the maximum rate for the energy storage, that is, the problem is asking us for dp by dt to be 0. So we are maximizing this equation by dp by dt equal to 0. So if I differentiate the expression of p which we have obtained, so on differentiating it, we will obtain something like this: L I naught square by tau minus 1 by tau e to the power minus t by tau plus 2 by tau e to the power minus 2t by tau, and we are equating this to 0. So on equating this to 0, we obtain e to the power minus t by tau is equal to half, or t is equal to tau ln2 will be obtained. So if we put this value in the expression of power, so we will get P maximum, and the value of P maximum is calculated as L I naught square by tau half minus 1 by 4. And if we put I naught as E by R, so it will become the expression will look like, and tau is equal to L by R. So the power maximum in this circuit will be written as E square upon 4R. So with this we come to an end of magnetism 2.